Getting sober is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself and for those you love. But it's quite difficult, or very difficult, to stay sober, particularly in those early days. And at any point in your sobriety, it can be threatened. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips, things to watch out for, that will help strengthen your sobriety and helpfully get you over those hurdles. First of all, please subscribe to the channel. It just helps 1 or 2 more people perhaps see the videos and be helped by my experiences, good and bad. And please, if you'd like to support me on my upcoming trip, or help support me on my upcoming trip on the Camino de Santiago to finally finish it, on this 3rd attempt to finish TEAR, then please click on the link in the description and find out how you can do that. It would be greatly appreciated. And for those of you who've already supported me on there, I really do thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. Thank you. So these 5 tips. Number 1, post-acute withdrawal syndrome. It's a very real thing. I'm going to say there's 2 videos on this channel I've made on post-acute withdrawal syndrome, into which I've done a lot of research, because, you know, looking back on it, 1 or 2 times when I've slipped, it's been because of this syndrome. And basically, particularly if you've been a heavy alcohol and drug user over a long period of time, post-acute withdrawal syndrome can be a very real thing. And these symptoms can come upon you at any time, unexpectedly, without you realizing or knowing what they are, and can lead you back down that very dark path. So learning to recognize what it is and that it is very real, and you can experience it at any time, is very, very important in your recovery. So please have a look at those videos. Please read up on post-acute withdrawal syndrome. On those videos, I give a detailed description of how you can get through it, or what will help you get through it and help your mind and body heal over those particularly early months of sobriety. Because this syndrome can go on for quite a long time. For some people, it lasts maybe a couple of years, even longer in some cases. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to learn to know your triggers. Because many people don't really recognize what they are, what has led them in the past to a relapse, or as what has triggered their use of alcohol and drugs. What are they hiding from, escaping from, numbing? All of these things, these triggers, you need to learn to recognize them in your sobriety. So they usually revolve around people, places and things. And these triggers can be anything from issues around your relationship, around your job, around the way you handle emotions, around your environment, around people that you're mixing with that perhaps trigger you, that are still using alcohol and drugs, places that you're going where drugs and alcohol are being freely used, or they take you back to, or they're places where you perhaps used to go and use before, or even used to go and procure your drug or an alcohol from. All these little things can trigger your mind and set it on a path of obsession, where you can think it's a really good idea to go back down that road again and take that first drink. And more often than not, you know, I know for me this is, I'm not speaking for everybody here, but for me, I'm powerless after that first drink. Once I've taken that first drink, my life goes to shit, basically, or drug, doesn't matter which. So I do anything now to avoid, and making some tough choices, you know, cutting people out of your life that you know are bad for you, that you know are toxic. You have to deal with relationships that are toxic. If you're not getting the support from people or your partner or anything, then you're going to have to make some hard choices. You're going to have to cut them out of your life. And your environment, you know, you make your environment as sober friendly as you can. Don't be a product of your environment, make your environment a product of you. So learn to know your triggers, recognize them and act accordingly. Number 3, structured routine. A structured routine in sobriety is essential because in your addictions, whatever they were, your life was probably chaos. It was unmanageable. You were all over the place. There was no routine. Everything just, as I said in the last video, revolved around getting your drug and alcohol of choice, procuring it, getting money for it, etc., etc., etc. Exhausting. So you need to set up a structured routine. You need to daily make small goals, a list of small goals, and work towards them daily. As I've said many times before, you can move a mountain just by taking small stones at a time. Don't expect too much of yourself. Don't set massive goals. Small goals. And just set up a daily routine which you can rigorously keep to. That's not unmanageable or unachievable, because that's demotivating. But having that structured routine in place will give you confidence. And you've got to learn to practice self-care. And this is involved in this structured routine, because you've not taken care of yourself, whether it's your diet or your exercise. You've not done anything that's been good for you for such a long period of time. You need to start liking yourself a bit and taking care of yourself a bit. So that might involve, having a hot bath. It might involve some exercise, walking in nature. It might involve reading. It might involve, just relaxing and lying in bed and giving yourself some time to breathe. It might involve some meditation, some breathing exercises, anything which distracts you in one way, but is also good for you and nourishes your soul. Practicing gratitude every day, all these things, self-care, what you put into your body, what you put into your mind. Cut yourself off social media, cut yourself off watching the news. All these things are self-care. The list goes on and on and on. But learn to start to do it. Number 4, this is a really important one, you've got to learn how to sit with your emotions. Most of us who've been in addiction are escaping pain of some sort, generally. And also numbing our feelings and our emotions, or hiding from our feelings and emotions, because we don't like to feel that discomfort, basically, of those we don't want to feel. We just hide from them, escape them. So when you get sober, all these feelings and emotions come rushing back in, and they're magnified. You've got to learn to sit with them. You've got to learn that they are transient, that this too shall pass, that, it doesn't matter what's going through your mind at the moment, it's transient and it will change, and those emotions will change by the minute sometimes. But it's very confusing, early sobriety, because all this stuff comes rushing back upon you. And you have to realise 2 things. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to others, to share those feelings and emotions, because bottling them up inside of you is just going to be a powder keg waiting to explode, and you will relapse. Sitting with emotions, God forbid, in the event of someone close to you dying, for example, while you're in sobriety, what your default there would be to go and numb the pain by drinking or drugging it away. Instead of that, we honour that person and honour ourselves by sitting with that emotion, remembering the great times with them, the good times with them, the love you had for them, the love they had for you. Remember the bad times as well. You sit and you cry and you feel that emotion. And it's easier said than done, I know that. But this is the things that we have to learn to do in sobriety. And it honours them that you're doing that. They wouldn't want you to disappear inside a bottle or with a drug. And numb that. Feel the emotions. Let the tears flood out. Let cry. Feel what it feels like to cry. It's really important. And finally, and again, this is probably one of the tops of my lists, and I've left it till last because I mentioned it before, but get yourself some peer support of some sort. You can't do this on your own. You can't. However much you think you can, you can't. Trust me, I've tried numerous times, and I know many hundreds and thousands of people who've tried. You need an outlet, and I've just said in the last number 4 there, it's okay to talk. Well, you need to talk, and you need to share the way you're feeling a couple of times, several times a day sometimes, you know, and the way I do that is in AA. You don't have to do that, but a peer support group, sharing it with people who have been there and walked your path and understand what you're feeling, and people you can learn from their experiences, is essential to strengthen your sobriety. And you know, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There's many peer support groups out there, not just online, out there, you know, and the groups, if you don't want AA, NA, CA and all that, you can have Smart Recovery, all of that, Al-Anon for relatives, you know, all of those sorts of things, you know, and plenty of other groups. There's a group in England called Andy's Man Club, which is just for men on a Monday night who are sharing their struggles with mental health with each other. It's growing at such a rate now because the crisis is so high that you know it's amazing, and their motto is it's okay to talk, and it is okay to talk and to share the way you're feeling. It's essential to your sobriety. So I hope those 5 things have been helpful for you. Please subscribe. Please click on the Ko-fi link in the description, and thank you for listening. Carpe diem. Seize the day today. Make today the day you change your life. Stay strong, stay sober. Thank you.